Welcome back to DXB today, where we are coming at you from a global hub for content creators right here in Dubai. Everyone can be an online star today, but how do you stay authentic and stand out from the crowds? Well, one company that works with many influencers and brands is the Bukhash Brothers. And with us today, it's Pauline Castro, the Director of Strategy and Operations at Bukhash Brothers. Thank you so much, Pauline, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, big question, and it's probably a question you get asked a lot by influencers, by non-influencers. How do you sell a product while trying to seem like you're not selling the product? How do you stay authentic to your content without selling out too much?
So I think this is a two-part approach, right? Like from our side, we always ensure that, we do really deep research into the brands, their brand values, their brand tone, what kind of campaigns they've done before. And then I think the magic sauce is trying to pair the brands with influencers that already align with those values. Now, if you find creators that already align with the brand's values, then your job is quite easy. And it's just, I think now in this landscape, there has to be a lot of trust now with the creativity of the creator that you're putting on your platform, right? There's a reason why they know what they do best, and there's a reason why their engagements are really high. And so we really try to the best of our abilities to make that perfect pairing, and then voila.
I wanted to ask you about, for example, now authenticity is a very big thing, especially with content creators, and that's what everyone is looking for while watching and following these content creators online. What are some of the tips, let's say, for someone that maybe is just starting right now and doesn't know where to go and what direction to take and how to start a brand online like that?
The biggest tip that we can give is to just do it.
Yeah.
So I have spoken to a lot of people that are aspiring creators that are just starting, like you said, right? I think the first hurdle that they have to get through is trying to be comfortable. Comfortable and trying to show all aspects and facets of their life. Now, once they go through with it and, do a couple of takes, as the process goes along, they then find their niche and they then find their USP. Okay. But honestly, the biggest step is to just do it. Like in today's day and age, I think when social platforms first started, it was all about the aesthetic, the aspirational, perfectionism. It's not like that anymore, and that's a beautiful thing, right? Particularly for platforms such as TikTok, they actually push a lot of more organic content. Doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be curated at all, and that's what people are celebrating, just in terms of relatability. The community wants to see people on these platforms that they personally can relate to. So number one tip, just go for it. Number two tip, just be consistent. Okay. That's it.
Yeah, that's good advice.
So you mentioned TikTok there. I'm curious because I think that's always like a question, like, how do I grow my engagement? How do I connect to people on different platforms? In your experience with Bukhash Brothers, what is the distinct approach you should be taking for all the distinct platforms? Is it different from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snap, otherwise?
No, yes, absolutely. We believe on TikTok, if we're talking about from a brand's perspective, for example, right? TikTok is a fantastic platform to show your brand's personality. So whenever we get a client with us, we always say, utilize your TikTok to show people how you guys work behind the scenes. Now there's a big trend right now going on that's called EGC, which is employee generated content, and people are loving it because not only do the audience of TikTok care about what's the most trending product, they also care about the brand values of the product, right? True. For example, TikTok, fantastic for personality, fantastic for micro-learning. TikTok is really big on pushing thought leadership right now, for example. So that's one strategy that we always put for TikTok. For Instagram, there's still space for the aesthetic. Not too much, but there is still a bit of space for the aspirational, inspirational, where to go, what to do, that kind of stuff. So that's where we kind of like draw parallels. Of course, on both platforms, video form and organic works, but it's just, that's the tiny little difference. TikTok is a little bit more, organic, educational, relatable. Instagram, there's still a hint of aspirational, inspirational.
How do you go about selecting influencers for the different campaigns that you have? Because gone are those days when we strictly just looked at the numbers, right? Yeah. I mean, it's no longer the case where somebody who's got 250K followers would have better engagement. Sometimes somebody with 50K followers might have even better engagement than them. So how do you go about gauging this?
So for us at our agency, we really look at, and like you said, I think previously the social landscape cared about demographics and engagement numbers, right? In this landscape, people care about values, so the creators' values, the type of content that they put out, and on the other side of that, creators care about the brand's values as well, right? So when we choose our creators, what we do is we try to align both of these people's values, both sets from the clients and from the creators. And when you do that, it does create that harmony and it creates that kind of organic, authentic way of growing. When you've got that synergy between two parties, automatically your content is a lot stronger and a lot more engaging anyways.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about, well, topic everyone's talking about, AI. You know, you're seeing it more and more on social platforms being utilized. How are you advising people to integrate that into their content?
So for us at the agency, we never shy away from technology and innovating and more learning, right? For us, we're consistently trying to adapt, trying to find more ways to be more efficient. For us particularly, we have started using tools to kind of streamline processes. We advise our creators to do the same. Now, there's a lot of tools out there that would give you better data analytics, just like a faster process within your creative process. I think one of the things that's a misconception about AI is that people think it may in the future remove all creative control, right? Or the need for kind of like that creative output.
Yeah.
We don't see it that way. We merely see it as the creatives are still with us, but we're utilizing the tools to be more efficient. And we're seeing now at our agency that the results are so. We have become more efficient and we have found a lot more ways to kind of show our creativity, show our concepts. And so with the creators and the brands that are with us, we advise them to do the same way.
So what
Yeah, sorry.
advice would you give somebody who is an aspiring influencer, wants to make money doing this, and they have a few followers, they got like around 10,000 followers, they're starting to get people approaching them for brand deals, they don't want to pay a lot of money. What would you say to those people? Take the deal, show what you can do, or build that engagement instead of trying to put brands into your content too
That's
soon?
a very specific question,
And-
Paris. Are you asking for a friend?
Is that for you? Because you know we can talk
Well,
after.
We will. But what would you say?
I think for me, authenticity always wins. It will always win. Take, for example, our founder, Anas Bukhash, right? Anas Bukhash was very passionate in his brand. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he was very consistent. So, again, to the advice, just do it, be consistent, but be authentic to yourself. Anas he was never shy to take on any opportunity, but it doesn't mean that he wasn't picky. He was very true to himself, and if the brand does not, again, align with his values, the answer is no, and look at where he is today. We've got a fantastic show, AB Talks. We're doing a lot of things with creators around the world, celebrities around the world, and now we're able to actually integrate brand integrations within the show in the most amazing way. So for anyone that's starting out, hang in there, find your niche, and be authentic to you.
Great advice, Pauline. Thank you so much. Please stick around with us. And big fan of Anas Bukhash. Please ask him to come on the show. Right, for now, our spotlight for the day is on a young lady who has been recognized as one of the Emirates Women Top 10 Creatives to Follow and has been named among the top 100 most influential Asians in the Middle East. This is Ria Jacobs.